Did you know that many popular singer-songwriters didn't actually many of their own hits? They get writing credits because they are popular, not necessarily because they actually contributed to the song. For several years now, songwriters have been calling out popular singers from Beyonce to Ariana to stop putting their name on songs they didn't contribute in. In the meantime, K-pop idols are getting more and more songwriting credits on songs. And fans waste no time hyping it up to prove their biases are not just manufactured puppets but actual artists. Efforts to do more art and contribute to their creatives should be encouraged. The problem is when it is assumed that just because the idol wrote it, the song is good. It actually degrades the purity of the art of songwriting. However, for us to understand and actually do something about this desperation, it's important for us to understand how it started. Why are singers so allergic to being branded a mere singer instead of also a songwriter? Unfortunately, for us to understand, we actually need to go back to 1679. Make sure to get food and water. We will be here for a while. I'm kidding. The birth of pop music was in 1679 when the very first opera was penned by Alessandro Scarlatti. From then until 1900s, opera became the popular form of musical entertainment. In other words, pop music. Opera was pop. In that version of pop, the songwriter was also the center of performance and the center of attention, and of course, the full owner of the art. But young people just had to disturb the peace. They got bored sitting around. So the young bourgeoisie got bored and used faster beats during social gatherings. That gave some kid from a rich family in Europe the idea to open a dance hall. And they started doing waltz, mazurka, and polka. Yep, they weren't just sitting around, they started dancing, and that was disco. Better version. Waltz became the new pop. Buying happiness. These dances were couple oriented, of course, and that wasn't a very common thing during that time. Everyone was conservative. By 1700s, however, Paris learned how to fuse opera, dance, and comedy. And that's what we know as variety show today. Variety shows were done, of course, on stage before a live audience at that time. They were selling the show to the general public or the mainstream public as we know it today. And since the audience or the target market was the general public, they needed the songs to be simple and catchy. Songs that are easy to sing and songs that make people jolly and happy. And that opposes the discipline of the throat and ear shattering opera. Pop has changed. It also started a debate between classic and pop. The older market developed a disdain towards young people who were developing tunes that would sell and not express artistry. Further, the composers of the music, unlike in an opera, were actually not seen. It's the performers that became popular. And prostitution ruled the world. Eventually, the cabaret was born in the streets of Paris. The first cabaret was opened November 1881. Believe it or not, the cabaret was a casual saloon where artists, poets, composers actually come together to share ideas and perform for an audience while enjoying food and drinks. Yes, it was an antithesis to dance halls. The concept of cabarets quickly spread across Paris and other places in France and Germany. Art evolved and actually advanced. But as more and more cabarets opened up, owners had to make their performances more complicated, more colorful, and it wasn't long until circus like performances became popular. Quality of music became a secondary thing. They had to appeal to the eyes more than the ears. Visuals became the priority. Moulin Rouge Cabaret opened in Paris on October 6, 1889. Located in Montmartre district, it was founded by Joseph Auler and Charles Zidler. and it quickly became famous for its opulent decor and performances, particularly the can-can dance. When the Moulin Rouge opened in 1889, things became wild. Music became wild. Dances became wild, and performances became wild. It also carried on the tradition of getting attractive performers, while songwriters and composers took a back seat. As performers started becoming prettier and sexier, the bourgeoisie hanged out here to be closer to female entertainers, even if it meant paying for them. That eventually became prostitution. Meanwhile, in the US, Thomas Edison built the first phonograph in 1877. Opera singers started recording their songs, and people started buying the phonograph and the record. Singers started recording songs written by other people. Businessmen started establishing record companies with the sole purpose of selling records. There wasn't an attempt to grow the art. New inventions were funded to make recording faster and easier. They commissioned composers left and right to write songs for popular singers. Radio Corporation of America, or RCA, and Music Industries National Broadcasting Company, or NBC, and the United Independent Broadcasters, later renamed Columbia, were actually born. They took over phonograph and radio. And as foreigners swarmed the US, music and culture from Europe also arrived, including the cabaret and the Moulin Rouge. Record labels started developing dance groups to perform, and it followed the same model as the cabaret. They wanted attractive performers, and the songwriters took a back seat. It invited the public to buy the product on the basis of the looks of the people performing it. Art was not really a consideration. Enter Elvis, followed by the Beatles. Elvis and the Beatles broke the mold. They entered the scene writing their own songs. This too paved the way for other singer-songwriters to enter the mainstream. Take note, they weren't the pioneers, but they reintroduced singer-songwriters in the mainstream. What does this have to do with K-pop? Well, about 5 minutes into my video, we come to the very reason many people don't consider singers who don't write their own songs actual artists. Its roots actually come from prostitution, the practice of selling the looks, not the quality of the art. This is not to say all singers who don't write aren't artists. Whitney Houston didn't write her own songs, but by God, she's one of the best artists we've ever seen. For as long as it is their choice not to write, and for as long as the composers are actually okay not to perform their own songs, there is nothing wrong with that. Besides, there are songwriters, producers, and composers who don't like performing. We have to give them a chance to put out their work as well. If we truly want to elevate art, and of course, elevate our favorite artists, we as fans, and of course, their agencies, should encourage and support artists or idols in experimenting and exploring their own artistry. But we also need to be reasonably critical when we review their work or what we brand to be superior art. Art grows when we push it forward, when we go out of our comfort zones, when we explore, not when we walk backwards. Be compassionate as idols or young artists try their hand in writing or doing other things, but also be objective when you put out your own assessment. Okay, I actually discussed this during my live stream, but I felt so bad because I forgot I wasn't sharing my screen. So this is for all of you who wanted to know more about why there is so much obsession over songwriting credits and why it's actually been a this has been going on for a long time. Singers who don't write their own songs are usually frowned upon, and this, I hope, will sort of give us some enlightenment on where it started and why it started. Things have changed, of course, things have evolved. Just because, as I've said in the closing, just because you don't want to write your own songs doesn't make you less of an artist. For as long as it is a choice that you make and you're not being forced to withhold your own artistry. Okay, I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section. Please leave them and you can say whatever it is that you want to say for as long as you are respectful. Please follow me on Patreon. We do have a free tier if you just want to try things out and not commit. Also follow me on X or Twitter and also on Instagram. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And of course, share the video if you can, because that's really helping my channel. And share the video if you can, please. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Till next time.